Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Cluj in Romania. Loud car outside says we're going to Romania tonight. Thank you, loud car driving by. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, loud car. Thank you, loud car. Cluj County is located in a very notorious part of Romania that I'm sure everyone has heard of, Transylvania. Now, Transylvania, I feel like if I say that, people are like, oh, it's full of vampires and creepy bats and the children of the night. It is not. It's not that at all. It's all fiction. Transylvania is actually a very beautiful corner of Romania. Not that Romania doesn't have a beautiful corner. Transylvania is very mountainy. We are up in the Carpathian Mountains that make this really interesting shape across Romania. You'll see what I mean on Google Earth. It's very distinct. But this northern branch cuts through Cluj County a bit up here. But there's another branch that cuts along this whole portion here, known as the Apuseni Mountains. Can you see right there? The Apuseni Mountains. And it's very picturesque and beautiful, of course, in these mountains. The capital is Cluj-Napoca, and we'll talk about why it has that really interesting name and its history. And I think we'll just get right into it, Yeah, let's get right into history. So this city began, it's a city, it's the second largest city in Romania. This city began as a Roman town in the year 106 CE. The Romans had just invaded this area known as Dacia, so of course the Dacians lived here. But they established Napoca, and it was a pretty thriving little corner of the Roman Empire, but it was abandoned in the year 274. I imagine there was just far too many invasions happening up here in Roman Dacia that it wasn't a safe place to live if you were a Roman, and it was abandoned. Many of the ruins that were left behind were eventually taken apart and used to build churches and what have you, so I couldn't find any ruins. I couldn't find anything about Roman ruins. Romanians out there, let me know, but I got nothing for you in terms of Roman stuff. I found little bits, but I don't really think they were Roman. I think that they're either much older or much more recent, but Romanians, let me know. Eventually, this area became part of Hungary. All of Transylvania at one point was part of Hungary. But Hungary had a problem with this area in that there were not a lot of people living here. And they needed to boost the population so that they could have a better claim on it. So they asked people from Saxony if they wanted to move to Transylvania. And they did, and they are known historically as the Transylvanian Saxons. These German speakers moving in to what was Eastern Hungary at the time, creating a whole interesting culture here. Eventually, over time, there would be a mix of Hungarian, Saxon, and eventually Romanian people living in this area. But the Transylvanian Saxons are very important to Romanian history. Also important to European history, to be honest. In 1443, Matthias Corvinus was born here in Romania. It's Cluj. I'll just keep calling it Cluj. It's called various other things depending on what language you spoke. Matthias Corvinus would go on to become a very famous Hungarian king and other parts of the world because he ruled over quite a bit, like in Croatia and such. He was a very famous figure in European history. Also very important in European history was the year 1848, jumping ahead a bit. 1848 was an absolutely wild year in Europe. It kind of like erupted in different levels of revolution and protest, and that was very true here in this corner of Hungary. There is a big uprising against the Hungarian crown, which that time was it the Habsburgs by then? I think it was almost the Habsburgs by then, right, Loud Car? That's right, Loud Car. And some famous figures came out of this area who fought against the Hungarians, or the Hungarian military, I should say. We'll talk about that a little bit when we look around the town on Google Earth. But Hungary would lose Transylvania in the year 1920. They would get a hold of the 1848 revolution in time. They would lose Transylvania in 1920 with the Treaty of Trianon after World War I, and this area was given to Romania. Hungary, of course, being part of the losing side of World War II, lost a lot of land to make up for, did I say World War II? Also World War II, but World War I. They would be one of the losers of World War I and would therefore have to give up many portions of their territory in order to make up for causing World War I. So it became part of Romania, which was kind of an issue here in Cluj, as it's now known today, because it was still mostly Hungarian people living here and would still be mostly Hungarian people here until about the 1960s, 1970s, so kind of an issue. There were people who, we'll get there, hold on, we gotta talk about World War II first. Nazi Germany buddied up with Hungary and in 1940 gave them Transylvania back. So this area became part of Hungary, but a very different Hungary from the one that had left. There was, to put it lightly and relaxingly and YouTube friendly, a large Jewish population here. And by the end of World War II, there was not a Jewish population here, let's put it that way. Very tragic. Cluj would be recaptured in 1944 by the Soviets/Romanian army coming in to liberate. And Cluj County would officially become part of Romania again in 1947. It would cease to exist during Romania's communist era, but it would, as you can see, come back. So why is it called Cluj-Napoca? Cluj being its Romanian name and Napoca being the Roman town. Well, in 1974, they thought it would be neat to honor the history of the city, and they gave it both names, which I think is quite nice. Cluj-Napoca has a good ring to it, I think. And I think that's about it for history. Most of this area is either wooded or farmland. There's lots of rivers that go through. We'll take a peek at those on Google Earth if I remember. But that is essentially the history of Cluj County. So there's actually quite a lot to see on Google Earth. I have some exciting things to show you, including probably one of the coolest salt mines here in Turda that you'll ever see. And over here, there's a haunted forest. We got some stuff to see, lots of ruins and some good stuff. The mountains. Let's just head over to Google Earth. Let me turn off the lights and I'll grab my tablet and we will explore Cluj County on Google Earth. Let's go. Here we are in Cluj County. But let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here's Romania. It's got that Black Sea coastline there, the Danube Delta, and here you can see the Carpathian Mountains, the Apuseni chain right there. And as we zoom out, it's very easy to find this big, curvy Carpathian mountain range. So it's quite easy to find on the map. You can see surrounded by Moldova, there's Bulgaria, Serbia, of course there's Hungary, and a little bit of Ukraine. Jet Jaguar's under the desk right now. I hope you didn't hear him doing those little cries outside while I was filming the beginning of this video. He dragged all his toys to the office door and wants to play. So I'll have to have some good playtime after this. Yeah, he's tapping my ow, and he's biting me. Okay. We'll see if he makes an appearance later to get my attention. But let's start in Cluj-Napoca. Please don't bite me, Ginger. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to move him away. Starting here in the old town, here's Matthias Corvinus. That's Jet scratching at his spot under the desk. There he is up here. It's all very dramatic down here. My goodness, Jet. All right, this cat is being chaotic. One second. Jet. Hey, baby. I know you want attention and love, but you gotta calm down, my little man. Oh my goodness. And okay, I kicked him out, so you might hear little sad meows outside the door in a bit. But it says Matthias Corvinus here. And this is kind of the main square of the city. That's a memorial there we'll look at in a second. But yeah, if I tap this, we can see more of the area here. There's the big church. We'll look at another church in a second. It's very pretty inside. Yeah, big memorial there. It's kind of giving Sauron, but not quite, not enough to be eerie about it. Of course, it's gorgeous during Christmas time, like every quaint European town, right? This was donated by the city of Rome when the city officially joined Romania after World War I, to be like, welcome to Roman culture, I suppose, because this was once a Roman town, wasn't it? Yeah, many Romanians were persecuted under Hungarian rule. They were, not allowed to speak Romanian or do anything involving their culture. And that really flipped once this area became Romanian. And during the communist times, there was a lot of persecution against the Hungarians. Yeah, see, look at this memorial here in 3D. It looks a little Sauron-y, but not enough to be alarming, I think. But all those days are long gone. There's none of that happening anymore. We got a second square over here with the Orthodox Church in the background instead. This is Avram Iancu, who was one of the heroes during the 1848 revolution. He was a lawyer who said enough is enough with these Hungarians and went rogue and, led fighters and such. YouTube friendly words. There's a pat. I can't remember what they're called in Orthodox religion. Anyway, fireworks, that's pretty. It'll come to me in a minute. Oh, how fun. You can get all kinds of little handicrafts here. I'm sure there's fun little markets around. But there are some really pretty buildings throughout. You can see here is the theater. The ceiling looks a little worse for wear, but the front facade is very pretty. You can see some more classical buildings here. Some buildings are pretty communist looking. Some buildings are more modern looking. You kind of get a little bit of everything here in Cluj-Napoca. And there's some good museums too. Let's see if I can remember where any of them are. These look pretty good. Yes, this is the Transylvanian History Museum. Let's take a look. There's some Egyptian mummies, Transylvania history. No, that picture didn't load. There we go. Some more Roman history. There's a hand. That's a little creepy. Some neat artwork there. Beautiful clothes. My goodness. There's also a Romanian culture history that I have to remember where it is. Egyptian cat. I love that so many museums around the world have Egyptian stuff, even though it's all like, stolen. But, oh gosh, there's a lot happening in these statues. My goodness. But yeah, clearly during like Egyptomania back in the late 1800s. Is it this one? Students' Cultural House? No, but it's a theater performance area. But you can tell what time period that building was built in. Oh, look at I love Romanian women's clothes. It's so like happy. And I love the blouses. I love all the sewing on the blouses, which is what I'm trying to find. I don't remember where it is. Somewhere around here. There's also lots of really pretty parks throughout the city. And a really pretty botanical garden right here. I love a good botanical garden. I love these lily pads. I want to sit in one someday. I'm sure it wouldn't support my weight. They got a Japanese garden and this kind of garden and just wildflowers blooming everywhere and mossy rocks and ferns, tropical plants. They got all kinds of stuff here. Pretty good botanical garden, if I do say so. Look, they got an old petrified tree. What else? Little tulips. And look at these. They got some cacti. Wouldn't think that cacti would like this environment, but apparently it is possible too. Those guys. Is this it? Oh, this is the Ethnographic Park, which is an outdoor museum that showcases different types of buildings throughout history. Old-timey house. That's an old-timey church right here. Looks like a stave church. These are fun. When I'm in Walla Walla visiting family, they have this kind of museum for Fort Walla Walla. Look at that. It makes you feel like you're in the Oregon Trail, which it technically was. It's pretty great. Oh, well, I guess you'll have to find the museum for yourself because we got some stuff to see, including over here. This is Hoia Baciu. This is a haunted forest. Now, you're not going to, I'm sure you're like, yeah, sure, whatever, haunted forest. Listen to me. Listen to me. This is a haunted forest. When you look at these pictures, it's very unsettling. Look at this. This is creepy. And it's not just, whoa, there's a girl there. It's not just like the pictures. It's not the ominousness of it. Apparently, like when you're here, you feel that something is not quite right. That there's entities in this forest, and I'm very sensitive to those kinds of like auras, and I feel it in my gut right now that like I don't want to be here. And one of the places that's the most haunted, you can see there, is this area here. This spot, no trees grow. And no one knows why. Of course, they say that's because that's the UFO landing site. But for whatever reason, in this meadow, no trees grow. That's not a man-made thing. Mother Nature did this. And we don't know why. Look at this. It's just... Oh, this is not a good place. This place is... No, I don't like it. What's happening here? This is not a safe place to be, especially at night. There are some... And if you don't believe in this stuff, I'm sure you're like rolling your eyes, but let me tell you, it's not right here. Something is not quite all right here. Let's leave it. Let's leave the haunted forest, and I'm going to show you something really cool. We're going to head down here to the town of Turda. This is an old salt mine here that was used as a salt mine during Roman times. and in more modern times, but it's no longer a salt mine. It is now a museum and like an art exhibit in a sense, in that it's like beautiful light shows. Like, look at these. Wow. Look at this. Look how beautiful. This would be such a fun place to walk through. It's a little magical in the good way. This place is really neat. You can like go up in this underground Ferris wheel. There's a lot going on in this old salt mine. Look at all the stalactites all lit up from the lights. I'm sure all of the shadows, I'm sure it sounds amazing. I'm sure that the bouncing off the walls when you call out is just incredible. Yeah, the acoustics in this place must be outrageous. Look at this. Look at all the curves from digging and digging for so long. It's pretty remarkable. All the lights on the water down there. Salina, Turda. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. You can see some of the, sorry for my tummy there, other mining areas around there. As we head down here to the south, I found some old ruins, but of course I don't know Romanian, so that's someone's barbecue. So I have to remember the words for cascada must be waterfall. Yes, isn't that pretty? That's very nice. That's pleasant. That's not terrifying. This is nice. This is a safe forest. The other forest is not. Is it this? That's a cool cave. And you know I don't like caves. That's pretty neat. This rock is karst, which we talked about earlier this week when we were looking at Ireland. Karst rock is very soft and water can shape it very easily, so that creates all kinds of little caves and such. What happened to, see, here's a grotto. Creates all of these neat shapes in the rock from rain pouring against it. There goes another loud car. This area is gorgeous. The Turda Gorge is that the Turda Gorge? No, that's whatever that is, but we're in the Turda Gorge area. Gorgeous landscape. Look at this. That's remarkable. Look at the river running through. Yeah, when you have this karst rock, a river running through it, just wears it down over time till you have rocks that look like this. Pretty remarkable. Wow. I'm sure the hiking here is fantastic. Let me see where's Turda Gorges around here. I think it's up. It's gotta be over here. It's kind of hard when the satellite took this photo in like summertime and this is in springtime. Let me just type it in. I don't want to, oh, wait. No. Let me type it in. Can you hear my skin sticking to the map? It's really hot in here. Not as hot as it was when I was making the Zagreb video. Oh gosh, now Google Earth is crashing. 1 second. Not as hot as it was when I was making the Zagreb video. You have no idea. I was sweating bullets during the Zagreb video. I was like deliriously hot when I was filming Zagreb, and I felt so bad because I know so many people from Zagreb would see it, and I was hoping I'd do it justice, but none of you complained, so yes. Apparently it was fine. All was well. Okay. Now, Turda. See, there's the salt mine. Turda Gorge. Let's see how close I was. Oh, see, I knew it was over here. That was it. Okay, never mind. Apparently that is Romanian for Turda Gorge. That's not the slideshow that I tapped on when I was last researching this, but whatevs. That's gorgeous. as a little lookout. I need to find some ruins. How come I found all kinds of ruins when I was researching and now none of them are popping up? All of these slideshows, by the way, are absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. This forest is very safe. This is a good forest. This is beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, this is lovely. I would have a very pleasant hike here and not encounter anything supernatural in these woods. Not a thing. There's the little lily of the valley, edelweiss. What are these? Lily of the valley. I don't remember what they're called. But there's lots of beauty in these forests. Is it this? Peshter? Was that the word? No, that was the cave that I already tapped on. Come on now. Anyway, maybe they're over here. Oh, I'm sticking to the pages here. Is this it? Yes. Okay, we found it. We found a fortress. See, now, I don't think this was a Roman fortress. Because even though it's a pile of rubble today, I think this looks like a more Celtic name to me. Or it could be from maybe like the 8th or 9th century CE, but I don't think this was Romans. It doesn't look like Roman ruins at all, even if it's a pile of rubble. Here's another one. I found the ruins. Yeah, Lateni is a very Celtic sounding name. This looks a little more Roman though. That looks a bit more organized, but this could also be from like the 10th century, the 9th century, you know. I don't think these were Roman, to be honest, but I could be wrong. So Romanians out there, let me know if I'm just like 100% wrong. It's really pretty in the snow. But yeah, many ruins out here. Then we head into the Buseni Mountains, which the slideshow for the natural park is outside, but it goes into this area, so just bear with me here. But isn't it gorgeous? This woods is beautiful. This is a very lovely forest. It's got pretty lakes and big mountains and kind of eerie caves, but it's lit up really neat, so it's not so eerie. I've seen scarier caves than that. Little hillsides there, little communities there. Very charming. That's kind of a scary cave. Beautiful wildflowers blooming. They look like the flowers that bloom here in Idaho, but I forget what they're called. Apparently I'm really off of my flower game today. Yeah, that is... Oh, wait. I did remember something else I need to show you. In this town is a really cool castle. Down here. Bánffy Castle. And it's a pretty great castle. It's got everything you'd want in a castle. You got the big towers. It's all kind of ruined here, but the interior looks great. Look at the neat lights that they put in. I'm sure this place looks great at night, but I doubt they do night tours. Apparently they have a big like EDM festival here every year, which is pretty epic, to be honest. What a good setting for that. But it's a little museum, and they've got the gardens there as well, and this empty room, towers. Look at the beautiful brick floor. Yeah, apparently they have a big rave here every year, which is pretty epic. But you can see that there's lots of just very simple farmland around, tucked between the hills and mountains. It's very picturesque. Very actual Transylvania, not scary vampire bats and creepy organ music at night Transylvania. That Transylvania does not exist. Transylvania is a beautiful place. Unless, of course, you're in the haunted woods. Then it's the Transylvania you're thinking of. I guess it does kind of exist. But I think we will end it here for tonight in this beautiful slideshow here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy this style of content, please consider subscribing. Next in the series, we're going to hop back over to Mexico, and I love talking about Mexico, and my Mexican viewers are so kind. But my Romanian viewers are also extremely kind, so sound off down in the comments if you're Romanian, if you're Mexican and you're excited. Do you know what state is next alphabetically? Let me know. We've got 2 Mexican states coming up, but which one do you think is next? Let me know in the comments. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and let me know all of your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear them. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. Unstick.